coming back to the session, in the last session, what were we discussing? Because I also want to go to the meditation today. It's a meditation on success, but we need to just close some little parts of our habit 3 first. We need to understand. So where were we when we were talking about habit 3?
First thing first, priority is ability to take action, responsibility.
So the weekly plan.
Yes.
See the end and
In the last session, we were, I would say, on this side. Am I right? We were talking about breaking big chunks of work that we do into smaller bite-sized chunks. We have a vision of 5 years, how to break that into smaller chunks so that we can then use some of it on a regular basis, on a weekly basis. Are you with me on this? We were discussing this when we closed the last session.
Yes.
So now at this point, we are saying that you plan weekly and, you use these small chunks to plan weekly. Let us understand from Stephen, why is it important to plan weekly? It's a very important topic. So please be with me on this.
You're looking at this scene through what photographers call a wide-angle lens. They use this kind of lens to capture the big picture. Now you are looking through a telephoto lens, which is used to bring objects very close. Now you see me through a standard lens that gives you a normal human perspective. Most people live as if they were looking at life through a telephoto lens. They live hour to hour, day to day, looking at their lives through the lens of what's immediately in front of them and what's most pressing and urgent right now. Imagine walking down a street while looking through a telephoto lens. We would focus only on the immediate threat or the passing impulse. We would live from crisis to crisis, dealing only with urgent things, mistaking them for the important things. The telephoto lens perspective would not allow us to focus on what's truly important, on the big picture of our lives. The big picture is what's ultimately important to us, our life mission, our organizational vision, our long-term quadrant 2 priorities. But we can't focus all the time on the big picture either. If we don't translate our vision into action, we lose touch with reality. We become dreamers and end up neglecting the very details that enable our vision to come true. So how do we stay focused day to day without losing sight of the big picture? The week is the normal lens that gives the most manageable perspective. You see, the week represents a complete patch in the fabric of life. There are work days, evenings, the weekend. It's close enough to be highly relevant, but distant enough to provide context and perspective. I mean, what you can't do in one day, you might be able to do in another. And over the course of a week, you can balance your life. If you were to ask me, what single practice would do more to balance your life and increase your productivity than any other, it would be this. Plan your week, each week, before the week begins. Take 20 or 30 minutes alone in a quiet place to go through these 3 steps. First, write down the important roles you play in your life. Roles represent your key relationships, your areas of responsibility. You may have the roles of being a manager of new products, a friend, a community volunteer, a family member. And don't forget yourself. You have an obligation to take care of yourself, to sharpen your own saw. Organizing your life around the many roles you play will help you maintain balance and focus on your key relationships, rather than focusing on tasks and things. Second, choose the big rocks. These are weekly quadrant 2 goals for each of your roles. Look back at the big picture your mission statement, and your long-range goals, and select those big rocks that will have the greatest impact on your mission and goals. And for each role, ask yourself the big rock question. What is the most important thing I could do in this role this week that would make the most positive difference? For instance, it might be to complete the budget this week. It might be to help a child resolve a problem, or to attend a conference where you will learn new ideas you need for your job. You see, these big rocks will almost always be quadrant 2 activities. In essence, you're creating your quadrant 2 plan for the week so that your highest priorities don't get pushed aside by the urgent. Finally, schedule the big rocks. Block out time now in your calendar for those big rocks before the week fills up with other activities. Then schedule your other activities around the big rocks. I once asked the managers of a struggling shopping center the big rock question. What one thing could you do that you absolutely know would have a significant positive impact on your business? Their answer was unanimous and immediate. Improve their deteriorating relationships with their tenants. They were the store owners in the shopping center. Then I asked them how much time they spent doing those kinds of things. It was less than 5%. Oh, they had all kinds of reasons. They had meetings to go to, reports to make out, email to answer. So you know what they did? They set up a goal to spend 1/3 of each week activity helping store owners with their problems. After about a year and a half, the effect was dramatic and profound. The numbers went up and they had a waiting list for new tenants. This is the power of putting first things first every week. These quadrant 1 and quadrant 3 things that creep into your schedule won't overpower the more significant quadrant 2 things. Once you've scheduled your big rocks for each week, then each day you can zoom in and prioritize your daily tasks and appointments. You see, with the right process and the right tools for weekly planning, literally, you can organize and execute every week of your life around your deepest quadrant 2 priorities. You will spend your time on those things that matter most, never losing that big picture perspective that makes your life so rich and so meaningful.
Okay, so this was Stephen talking about how to do the scheduling on a weekly and a day-to-day basis. So can someone just run us through this process once? What did he say? How do we start the scheduling?
It is with the review, mission, and roles.
So even before that, see, the step 0 is taking out time and keeping some time for planning. That, okay, on Monday morning or on Sunday evening, sometime I would plan my week. And then once you are sitting there 20 to 30 minutes without any other disturbance there, and you sit and you first, as you said, review the mission and the roles, the important roles. What is the most important thing that you can do for any given role in that particular week? Okay, then what do you do?
Select big rocks.
Immediately select roles and choose big rocks.
Yes. So once you've reviewed the roles and identified those important things, these important things are your big rocks. Then what do you do?
Schedule the week.
Okay, so you first put these big rocks in your week, and then you go ahead and schedule the other things. Now, can you spend all of your time only on the big rocks, only on Q2?
No.
No. So what do you need to leave space for?
we have to prioritize.
So big
For
rocks
the
are already a
small-
priority, no?
Yeah. No, for the
Okay.
small ones, which is important, like a family or recreations.
Yeah. So see, family, vacation, that is also Q2. You can plan them.
First thing first. It's
We can leave some
Something.
empty space for some emergencies which is coming without our
Yes, for
expectations.
Q1 activities, because some Q1 activity will naturally come. है ना? Someone would say, oh, I need your immediate support. I need urgent support. And this is very important because that person is important. That support is also important, that you have to offer that support. So while you place your Q2, your big rocks, you have to not put them choco block that wo big rock se hi pura aapka, week bhar gaya. You cannot do that. You cannot have a week completely filled with just Q2. It has to be Q2 and there have to be spaces in between to handle Q1 on a daily basis. Then what happens is that if at a time, some Q1 activity comes, Q1 is firefighting, you have to take care of it. You shift your Q2 to a different place within the same week, probably within the same day, thoda sa, a little later or a little earlier, and you give space to that Q1. But since you've already planned Q2, now Q2 will not suffer. Q2 will not be at the mercy of anything that is in Q3. It will not be at the mercy of anything that is in Q4. Are you able to see this? Yes. Okay. So how to make this thing? So the weekly planner that you should use, the ideal weekly planner should be such that you can synchronize across your digital devices, across your laptop, across your phone, so that even if your laptop is not with you, if your desktop is not with you, you have this weekly planner available on your phone. That way, then you will be able to plan even your personal appointments on the weekly planner. And wherever you are, whether you are home, whether you have the laptop with you or not, doesn't matter. You are able to plan things. Then you should have a plan view of 7 days. Why? Because the reason of choosing week as the most comfortable unit to do planning was that it has a weekend, it has evenings, it has all the parts of a week. So it's a good representation of our life. So if we have to bring in this sense of balance in different aspects of our life, then we would utilize our weekend and evenings also to work on those parts of life. So this planner should have a 7-day week view. And you can actually, categorize and use color codes. For example, in this particular example, there is a color code for yellow, there is a color code for, purple, and there is a blue color. So just a quick glance at the weekly planner tells you, oh, this week I'm more focused on my project, or this week I'm doing more of student mentoring, or this week I'm doing much more of teaching. So just a quick view will kind of give you an orientation. Okay, this is where my focus is primarily on this week. And you see, there are so many empty spaces that have been left even between these quadrant 2 activities or even other activities which have been planned. Why? So that there's a space to manage and accommodate Q1 activities also. Any questions?
No, sir.
So this, if we follow, if we are able to plan our week on a weekly basis, and then, and this requires, and as you notice, to be able to, allocate 20 minutes, 30 minutes every week to be able to plan your week, and then being committed to reviewing your roles and priorities. This requires discipline. This requires initiative. That is where habit 1 precedes this. That is where habit 2 precedes habit 3. But habit 3 kind of completes the virtuous loop. By being able to plan activities for Q2, by being able to, for example, plan activities like meditation even in your calendar, you can say that, okay, I am investing in my Q1 and I am investing in strengthening my habit 1. I am strengthening my habit 2. I'm investing my energies in quadrant 2. So habit 3 completes this virtuous loop of private victory. So this brings us to the quiz. So many of you are waiting for the quiz link, huh? So here it is. I will just copy paste it in the chat window also. So once you complete the quiz, please put a +1 in the chat window. So all of you are able to see the link? Once you complete it, please put a +1 in the chat window. So once you're done with the quiz, please put a +1 in the chat window. Those of us who are done with the quiz, you can just open your notes of the morning and probably look at the goals that you had identified during that tribute statement exercise. Just review that list a bit. It may help you. You may want to pick up something else. So, but yeah, that list could be interesting. And then we will enter into the meditation in just a little. So I think quite a few of us have filled the quiz now. So, oh, Goet said that things that matter the least, the things that matter the most must not be left at the mercy of things that matter the least. This was there in Stephen's video, was it not?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Things that matter the most should not be left at the mercy of things that matter the least. That was what Goethe had said. Okay, so since I think almost all of us have done the quiz, let's now prepare ourselves for the meditation. So this is called Chit Shakti meditation for success. Our day, as we mentioned, has been spent on how to, get a meaningful set of goals for us, for our lives, which are balanced, which can help us live a joyful life. And then we also looked at how to plan for them. So we saw how to break those 5-year long goals into 2 years, smaller nuggets, and then those 2-year nuggets into still smaller monthly and semesterly nuggets, so that we can arrive at something which is meaningful and achieve success. Now,
Anupji, one small request.
Yes, Eshu.
One question in that time quadrant, I have chosen important, unimportant, urgent, not urgent. And surprisingly, I have not checked the other options. But even this option is also correct, no?
No, the quadrants are named the ones of necessity, the one of effectiveness, the one of deception, and the one of excess or waste.
Okay, my focus was more on important and urgent.
So what you're talking about is only the axis. We're talking about the quadrants.
Okay, right. Thank you.
So what you describe is the axis. These are the 2 axes.
Yeah, correct.
The question was about the quadrants.
Yeah. Thank you very much.
Yeah. So now we will enter into this meditation. I would request you to please sit comfortably with your back rested, and only your back rested. Your head should not be rested. Okay. Keep your arms and legs uncrossed. If you're wearing socks, please remove them. If you're wearing spectacles, please remove them. If you can sit on the floor, that is great. If you can sit on, what is important is that your back should be rested and your arms and legs should be uncrossed. Okay. This is again a short meditation, I think around 20 minutes. Just be with the process. It is a guided meditation. And I will also share with you the link from where to download with the videos there. When I will upload the video, I will share the link of Inner Engineering Online and also from where to download these meditations so that you can access them. Okay. So please sit with your back rested. Head should not be rested.
So do we need to switch on the camera?
Each one of us has desires, our very own list of dreams and longings. Creation may have its own blueprint for us, but our personal desires cannot be easily wished away. They may be extravagant or mundane, ambitious or trivial. They may be inconvenient, they may be too personal to share, but they are ours. And for us, they are real, they are precious, they are urgent and deeply significant. Here is a rare offering from Sadhguru, a mystic who embodies the wisdom and clarity of profound realization. It is an offering that enables each one of us to become our own alchemist, that empowers us to transform long-cherished desires into reality. Sadhguru offers this with the intention that once these desires are fulfilled, we will turn towards the larger goal of our ultimate well-being. Chit Shakti meditation for success.
Slowly, very slowly, please open your eyes. So this brings us to the end of day 3 of this workshop. We will meet tomorrow at 9:30 again. And we will start with the second level of leadership. That is, we will move now from the level of independence towards independence. So habits 1, 2, and 3 took us from the level of dependence to independence. And now from tomorrow, habits 4, 5, and 6 will take us from independence to interdependence. So wherever we have interpersonal relationships, whenever we are talking about communication skills, wherever we are talking about creating collaborative relationships, that is what we'll be covering in the next 2 days. So thank you for joining in today. Thank you for your active participation. And see you all of you tomorrow morning at 9:30 a.m. Please join a little, a few minutes in advance, and then we will move to the public victory. Thank you. See you tomorrow morning.
One request, Anuj.
Yes, Malavika.
Actually, I have to go to college at 9:30. I have to start, right? I join it through mobile, but I'm not very comfortable in like attending the quiz through mobile, you know. So if you give the quiz a little later so that I reach the department and then on my laptop, that would be really good.
Yeah, so you must have already noticed that in the morning session, because we do a recap of what was offered or what has
I
been
will be
talked about
attending.
earlier.
I will be on the mobile.
Yeah, so we will have the quiz after the recap. So it will be something like, I imagine 10.
10, yeah, okay. By 10, I'll be reaching the department.
Yeah, so it would be around 10. Otherwise, don't worry. You can use the recording to get the link. You can just request the link after the session is over. We will have, don't worry.
Thank you, sir.